Hello! Hello, everyone. Hold on. I'm gonna have that up. There we are. Hello! Hello, Jake. Hello, Pub. Fancy seeing you here. Never would have expected that. Oh! Welcome back to the same drawing I was working on last week, because I literally haven't worked on it since then. Man, that's wrong tool. This is not my blending brush. Where did it go? What the heck? What the heck? There it is. Hold on. Move this a little bit. Sorry if on your end my screen just moved a little bit. I had to move it to the side so the chat, I could see the chat completely. Here you go, Jack. All for you. They aren't gray, but you know. I'm excited to have some better refs of Boone, though. I doubt I'll finish this on stream tonight. I draw so slow on stream, but if I do, I have some little doodles I want to do with him as well, which I have a backup plan for. But I have to kind of do a lot. That doesn't really sound like a lot, but it is. So I have to finish the sweatpants, and then I have to do all like I have to render all the white bits, which shouldn't take too long. Then I have to go through and add the chunks back to his hair because he has very defined hair chunks that are part of his hair color that I rendered out because I was just trying to get the, especially in these like wolf forms over here, that I kind of just smoothed out too much, so I have to go add to this back end. Also, I have no clue what I'm going to do for the background. I usually do the background before I even start rendering so I don't lose motivation at the end because I never want to do the background at the end, and I know that about myself, so I just go ahead and do it before then. But since this was kind of like a drawing that didn't really need a background, I didn't do that, and now I don't know what color to make it, or like what design, because I don't know. I never like making it just a color, because I feel like it, once you fully render something, like making it a color, in my art personally, I feel other people can pull it off, but I can't. Like, the common artist thing of like, others can do it, but I cannot do that thing that everyone does. I'm also really bad at making like simple backgrounds. Like patterns and stuff. Because I use a lot of darker colors. I don't use a lot of like lighter or saturated colors. So like if I were to make like, say this background, like his kind of accent color orange, it would look kind of weird, in my opinion. That only applies to me and my art, not anyone else. Go back through and highlight the strings on his sweatpants. I should probably swatch his eye colors up in here, because I want to make the goal of actually swatching the colors this time, because I'm super duper bad at swatching colors. And then you never know the exact colors of my characters. What layer are we on again? What layer is all this? Okay, so take the walk off of this layer. That's the first orange. That's not the right orange. His orange is very saturated. And once I put it down, it desaturated it. Okay. There. Better. So this is his eye color. Yeah. He gets a little pet. I think I need to make the lips more pink as well. Just something I need to go back through and do. What layer is this on? I want whatever layer this is. Give it to me. I'm already shrimped over. My back already hurts. Then again, I've been sitting here for like hours before this. Oh, okay. Or we're just gonna move that around. I didn't want to do that, but here we are. Make that a little darker. Also color the line art on this. Because I didn't. I usually do that piece by piece as I complete things. So I can kind of keep track on what I've done and what I haven't done. But I haven't done it a lot on this drawing because there's been a lot of dark colors. Oh, he flipped upside down. Okay. Mouth. This friggin' I absolutely love that CSP has the layer find option. That always is so incredibly helpful. You have no clue. Hello! Welcome in. All my mods in one place. Finally, at last. Yeah, he's got his wolf teeth. I think first, like, it depends on how frequently you chat and like the person in the stream. It's really weird. Okay, let me move all these color palettes to the side. This layer. Move these over. I'm going to highlight the Jack, look, finally, official color palettes for the character. After this drawing is done, you guys get to see me struggle to animate on CSP for the first time. Well, get to see me for the first time. I have animated on it successfully before. I'm excited to embark on a project I might actually like the product of. We'll see though. I get to play a fun game. Will I hate it? Will I not hate it? Will I spend 1,000 hours on it and then hate it? Yes, Jack has seen the mini struggles because Jack knows all of the things, and I go to Jack like, why isn't it working? And Jack goes, button. And I go, oh, I'm really dumb. And then they point and laugh at me. That's definitely how that happens. Yes, Jack is the person of infinite knowledge, 100%. I'm literally using Jack's blending brush right now. The brush that he made by himself. I am using it to render this very drawing. See, when I've been fixated on a few things in my life, and they're never like cool art things, they're always like nerdy science things. Or like, you know, Five Nights at Freddy's, which was like a really big one. I think that took a toehold on a lot of kids when the first 3 games were coming out all in the same year. Oh yeah, it's definitely planes. It was sharks and now it's planes. I have to keep tabs on my friends' hyperfixation so I can buy them appropriate gifts. I will watch that anime with you, Jack, after I'm done my mental obligation to stream to the people. Robert. Yeah, I have my black and purple one right here on my desk because you have the pink and blue one to my black and purple one. Now kiss. Not the long distance relationship ducks. I didn't block in the color for this like I wanted to, but I don't want to. I can't bother. It's one thing I have to render here. Yeah, Snowball and you know Munch, which is very unfortunate because in the past few years, mind you, I shall now explain. Munch and Snowball were our dog stuffed animals that Aurora and I have shipped together. I have Munch, she has Snowball. But in the past few years, the term Munch has coined a new meaning, much like our favorite word goon no longer means a henchman. A henchman. Um, Not the Ubiamo. Bro, Ubi needs to sue for likeness. Sue Susan. I don't even know if Susan still owns YouTube. A munch is someone who really likes to eat roast beef sandwiches. That's what we're really talking about here today. Please don't take my stream down. Yeah, they're called a munch. And the funny thing about that is, to be a munch, there needs to be a roast beef sandwich, okay? Munch and Snowball are gay. They're both male. Well, they're boy stuffed animals. This whole conversation is something that this very much details the type of children we were and the type of adults we are now. I mean, hey. Trans Snowball question mark? He him roast beef. Maybe Munch could still be a munch, you know? Yeah, cringe but free, always. Never went back on that one. I need to erase the lines from around these nipples. I had this one, I don't even know if they're technically an art mutual anymore, but they had like a tutorial on how they made like their nipples on their characters look good, and I just never saved that, and I wish every day I did because they looked so good. God. They posted on their story once. I have to erase the lines so I can go back through and... Oh, freezing. Because I drew them in so I would know where like the areola and stuff was. They're hard to draw. I used to not draw them because they were really hard for me to like place and draw, which is why my characters went so long without having nipples. No, they erased their art account from the internet. Like, I'm pretty sure they deleted it. And now I like drawing them, like, in the most non-sexual way possible. I think they complete the chest. Each other? Group breastfeeding in 3 minutes? What? Who said that? Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. What's an any nipple? Are you just talking about if it's cold out? Yeah, they all start as women in the womb, and then they develop into men. And it's literally just there. Oh, sorry, I hit you. It is just there because it just does. They don't get rid of it. That's it. That's the only reason. Jack's like, I'm not crazy. I'm sitting here affirming the fact that that is correct. Yeah, but I don't think it's like, I think that's like a condition, Jack. I think the any nipple is like a condition. I don't think it's like you have an innie or an outie like a belly button. I think it's like the innie is like a condition you have. Yeah, inverted. It's a condition. You can't just ask why they have an innie. I have an innie. I'm really glad it's on the inside. I don't think I could stand looking at it, TBH. Pop off, queen, for like, you know, having an outie, but it would freak me out. Like, why is it there? Like, why can you touch it? You can't just ask someone why they can touch it. Gretchen, or whatever her name was. I can't remember the quote. Interesting. I mean, it's still a pretty high percent, but it is actually, like, you know, low enough to be a condition. Oh shoot, I just erased his whole nipple. Yeah, I like my characters a little muscular, but also with a higher fat content, so they can have massive man breasts. Get your damn boobs out of the caption. Drawing references for your characters is so hard when they're like human characters, because like this being nude is okay, this is socially acceptable, but this guy being topless over here is not. It's like, you drew a shirtless man, and I'm like, yes guys, I want to show his body type so people can grasp. Also, this over here was just like the reference I was using. There we go. Oh, so what it's showing right now in the chat is your @ So your @ is different from your profile name, technically. So right now, I don't know why it's showing @ in the chat and not your actual YouTube username, but you probably changed your username, but not your @ They're different. And it's a whole thing. Yeah, I just know that some people are a little weird when they walk in and you're drawing, like, shirtless men. I don't know. Maybe it's a thing just with, like, the people I'm around. Also, just like sometimes guys are weird about it. I'm like, you've seen more provocative things of women. You've gone looking for more provocative things of women. I think you're gonna be okay. He's fake. There's nothing to be afraid of. Going back through, just filling in all this like little white stuff that didn't get quite filled in. You can't really tell, but I feel like it makes a difference on the drawing. Yeah, it just hasn't been working. The timing just hasn't been working out in your favor, but I am going to try to stream again like every Friday night or Saturday night, probably aiming for Friday because I like Friday more. I like Friday more because I'm a little nervous guy and Friday has less stream traction than Saturday. Saturday's probably like the best streaming day on YouTube for me personally that I've found. So I get less people if it's Friday, but I still have a chance of new people being introduced to the stream because people after work on Friday are winding down for the weekend and they will stay up later. So yeah, it's kind of like my happy medium because I'm a nervous little guy. But every time I stream on a Saturday, I do get a ton of traction in chat, and sometimes I get some chats that are a little odd, and it is a little awkward, and it is something you have to get used to. But I'm a little anxious guy, so. Why would you do that? Why did you stay up 42 hours? Why did you stay up 2 days? Why did you do that? Yeah, but he wasn't up for 42 hours. Was he? Yes, Jack. We know Jack. We know you love sleeping. It's in your username. Oh my god. New boundary. Don't stay up 42 hours. Not the big boy knob. I'm gonna kick you out of chat for mentioning that. Guys, if I ever drew... Never mind. I'm not gonna finish that statement. Please don't make a new record. Oh my god. I shan't. I could say it, but I shan't. Patreon dropping when? Okay. I think... Well, thank you for taking a break from talking to your piece of man meat to come into my humble stream. Sorry that I paused. The tip to my pin just fell out. It's in there so loose. But it's not broken yet, so I'm not. Because it's my last tip. It's my last pin tip, and I'll have to buy more after this. In fantastic news, they have started making this exact pin again, which means it's no longer like $80 to $72 on Amazon. It's only $32. And the tips, instead of being $25, is like $5 or $7. So I'm extremely happy about that, and I'll probably buy a backup because the one I have now is crushed. It's being held together with 2 pieces of tape because the buttons are falling out. So, in a very fem and stem moment, I, just taped over the buttons, so they're being held directly in there, and I can still click them down. Innovation. Tape fixes everything. Also, when you don't want to pay, like, $80 for a new pin, you will do anything. Also, honestly, even if I could buy a new one for $30, I probably still would have fixed it in the same way. I refuse to spend more than, like, $3. It feels evil. Okay, what do we think, guys, before I move on to adding the highlights, quote-unquote highlights, back into his hair? They aren't highlights, they're like the actual just, like, color. Ooh, I need to go back through and fix that, because I colored that in on accident. There we go. That's not how anything works, I fear. Saying please and thank you will not help. I'm glad you like it. Please do not eat him. Yeah, hair terminology highlights. Because that's technically what they are. They're like these giant chunky pieces of color. Okay, so I have moved my screen to a point where I can't... I can no longer reach my references, so hold on, I'm gonna have to move my screens around a little bit, so sorry if you get moved. Okay, stop pulling up OBS. You ever think about doing that? Maybe not pulling up OBS? There we go. Sorry if you guys are getting moved, because I don't know if you can see it. Okay, that should be fine. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it on your end when I move stuff. I'll eventually download the OBS widget so you can see the chat on screen, but that's not today. Yeah, because it does mess with it because I had the reason made up. I had the reason in my head and it just left me. I'm so sorry. Let me get a different. Let me just make this pen smaller, honestly. Just gonna go back in and add a few of them, like not like severely, because it'll like take away the blending effect that I have going on. I don't want to do that. Going in and adding like wafts. I feel like this part of his hair was fine. Like I feel like this hair over here is fine, so I might just leave this as is. And then I'll eventually, I guess, to the art fight folder, because that's what I'm kind of thinking of. I'll add stuff that still has the blocks. Because when I'm drawing him for, like, animation, which, oh my god, his hair is going to be hell to animate when I animate it again. Sorry. Lost my train of thought again. So bad at multitasking. I'm also getting a random chest pain, which is very normal for me, but it's still, like, jarring when you get, like, a random pain in your chest. Does Steve have balls or blocks? Mincecraft Steve. Yeah, but I can't get rid of that sort of kind of background noise like here. Okay, now this is really important because I have to establish where the pattern is and isn't. It's hard to tell, but he is darker at the peats, like his hand and like paws, like it's darker. It's supposed to be like gradiented, like it is on his actual hands. It's supposed to like replicate that. But all this like fluff is essentially like that, like his tail. The unmentionables, this like little fluff right here. It's all this sort of like pattern. Just putting brief little chunks in here because it's already a little defined, just it needs a little bit more definition to kind of like pop out and get it across. But this is what I'm trying to achieve. It'll look a little better once I don't just have the lightest color down. It always looks a little weird until I do all of it. It still does look a little weird sometimes, but I mean, I still enjoy this part of his design, so I will just work with it until I can make it look good. Because I think it adds a lot to his character, and I think it's interesting. And also just not having another gray, plain wolf character. Because I still want my characters to be, like, visually interesting. I'm glad you like him. I love Boone. I love all my characters. I get random brain rot for characters. This was during a phase where I got Boone as brain rot. I just selected a color. Let me not just randomly select a color. That would be fantastic. If I stop. Because, like, the color, I like, again, the two buttons I was talking about on my pin are hotkey buttons. So one of them selects color and one of them toggles to the eraser, which is really nice and really helpful. But sometimes when I'm holding my pin, it, like, rotates because of the way I hold my pencil, which is apparently wrong or weird. I'm not, like, full holding it like a caveman, but I apparently rest it on the wrong finger. I, like, rest it on my middle finger, and then I hold it with the two fingers above that, and, like, I wrap my thumb around, so sometimes I hit the buttons because it spins while I draw. Jack. Getting peer diagnosed in the chat. Yeah, the thing is, like, the pin I have, I don't know how Apple pins work, but the pin I have doesn't screw on. It pops in there, and sometimes if the tip is older or it has popped out a few times or you've taken it out once or twice, it'll begin to get a little old and it'll just wear and tear and pop out randomly. Which sucks when I don't have a backup, but I will just have to bite the bullet and buy backups at some point. Because it's probably really good I have them, especially if they stop making the pin again. Yeah, Apple Pen probably works like that, so you can't even try to use a different nib with it. It's so funny. Some people lose their Apple Pen. Like, I have an art mutual. They lost their Apple Pen. They legit just, it was cheaper to buy a used drawing, like actual drawing tablet than to just buy an Apple Pen. So that's what they did. They just bought a drawing tablet that came with a stylus. Like, off someone, like, secondhand. This doesn't, like... I just realized that this doesn't do his back main justice, because I was more focused on the anatomy when I did this. This doesn't do his main anatomy any justice, really, which kind of sucks. I'll eventually draw his beast form again, in a less, like, sterile manner. These are all heavily referenced. These three over here are heavily referenced, because I was trying to get the anatomy down, and because I do draw anthropomorphic animals, I take commissions, and I take a lot of furry commissions, because they will buy art. Like, half of the reason, like, furries are known for getting commissions is because, honestly, you don't have to draw to be a furry. You just kind of have to have an idea of what you want your persona to look like and kind of throw some colors on a random free base online, and then you get people to draw that for you. And then that's just kind of how the fandom works. So that's usually why they're your biggest commissioners, because usually people with OCs can either write or draw, but, like, you don't have to be, like, a creative to become a furry. So that's, like, a whole thing. So I do draw anthropomorphic animals, but I don't usually draw them naked. I draw them usually fully clothed. So I had to find some references. Also, I wanted to take some more liberties in making him more beast-like, which these don't really represent that, but it was good practice. But we get down the anatomy first, and then we edit it later. It's kind of what I do. Yeah, a lot of people think I'm a furry because I draw, like, a lot of half dog, like half canine, half humans, and I just have an obsession with canines, honestly, is the issue. That's the real reason that happens. And Ginger has a dog nose, which really throws people off. It's just something I gave their design when I didn't really know how to draw noses, and I just thought it was cute, so it's always stayed. And technically, at any point, it's like a phase between their two forms. So technically, any of my dog characters, canine characters, animal characters could have the nose of the creature they are. It's more of just like in the continuity of my story, it's more of explained as like Ginger just was that way, came out that way, and they just didn't, like, quote unquote fix it by, like, morphing their human nose. I'm the canine. It's that dog in me. I'm always drawing that dog in me. Also, so many people in the military are furries, it's not even funny. There's something about the military and being a furry man. Also, sometimes I'm, like, legit able to draw dogs or cats, and people are like, oh, it's because, are you a furry? No. I just know how to draw dogs and cats. I've, like, considered making a fursona, but I just think Ginger translates the best, like, as a human. Because Ginger has a wolf form, so that it would just be, like, the wolf form, but on two legs. It's so hard. It's so hard to convince people you're not, because I draw, like, you know how they're like, oh yeah, if you draw a dog like this, then you're definitely a furry. And when everyone tells me to draw a dog or cat, I just change the eyeballs, because I can do all the other proportions. Just, if you add whites in the eyes, people are like, oh my god, you're a furry. Because I personally don't care, obviously, as an artist in the art community who draws weird stuff. I'm like, you know, we're all little weirdos here. Also, like, half my friends are furries, so they're chill. Like, they're chill guys. Yes, I am currently winning against my Wi-Fi. Is it in the red right now? Yes, but it's still in the thousands. Sometimes we'll get down into double digits and it's terrifying. So, we're winning and it feels great. Every time you see the stream buffer, that's not you, it's me. Right now we're green. Oh yeah, I go by they, them. Yeah. Getting clocked. To be fair, reading Warrior Cats is like going on a huge endeavor because there's like 72 books. You'd honestly, at some point, you'd have to just pick something. Like, I feel like you could read, I think there's like 5 main series, all consisting of 8 books, and then there's a bunch of like side books. Please correct me. I know 2 people in here at least have read a lot of the Warriors. Oh, there's more than 72? I thought there was only 72. Okay, so there's only 72 in the main continuity? Somehow I escaped from Warrior Cats. I did not manage to get wrapped into Warrior Cats. We need to encourage the children to increase their reading skills to read the Warrior Cats novels. Also, that or Wings of Fire was like the alternative. Like, there was one for kids who like dragons, and it was Wings of Fire, which is also one I never read, but I did know another person who was obsessed with those books. Oh, shoot. I'm so sorry. I just hit my mic off of my desk. I am sorry if that was loud. I'm a professional, I swear. Well, what I heard about Warrior Cats is that it was 3 different authors and they didn't communicate well enough. I'm sorry. They're gonna call CPS. Or ASPCA? I don't know what they would call. Their CPS and PETA are gonna knock on my door any moment now. Honestly, encouraging the children to read Warrior Cats is so funny, but getting kids involved in a large book series like that is honestly a really good gateway to make them read, because if they get interested in the first book, they're going to read the second, and the fact there's 72 of them and also like one-off books of their favorite cats. Like, it is a good starting point. I feel like that was a big thing when not to sound too old, but like when I was younger, you would walk into the library and like, remember those like fairy books? They were like all about different fairies. I remember there was like, that was an obsession. And then Warrior Cats, and I was a Magic Treehouse kid, and there were 1,000 of those books. It's not Winx. They were like these little books. They were less than an inch thick. Like, less than, honestly, probably half an inch thick. And they all had a different fairy on them. They were all different color. I really don't remember what they were called. I never read one. Jack didn't read until they found fan fiction. then it was over. Yeah. I was a big reading kid, but I never read like fiction. I was really big into nonfiction as a kid, which, look, I'm sometimes I say things and I'm like, wow, I'm the nerd emoji, but That was just one of those things. There was these things when I was in like the first grade. There were these books called Reading Rocket, and they were all about different parts of science, and like a lot of them were biological sciences. Like I remember I checked out this one about tide pools like 5 separate times, and I read it, and I thought it was so interesting. I like little books like that. Yeah, yeah, we know. We know. No one cares about your birds. Please. Aurora right now with the planes. Yeah, we're all American. You could probably tell because we're all very loud. Well, I'm very loud. Oh my god. And I'm very quiet for like an American, and I'm still very loud. Super loud. I love this country is a really funny sentence. Like you can't be loud in any other country. Is this you? Yes. We do have the bald eagle. We are so patriotic that we almost killed the bald eagle into extinction because everyone was like, yo man, I want to kill a bald eagle so I can stuff it. So they started killing bald eagles. Mr. Ben Frank was right. We should have done turkeys because we literally have so many wild turkeys. But we probably would have drove them to an extinction too. Or maybe we wouldn't have because they would have been super normalized, especially as farm animals for like Thanksgiving. So we probably wouldn't have drove them into extinction because it wouldn't have been cool to have a turkey. Maybe for more holidays like 4th of July we would have had turkey though. And I don't mind because fried turkey is like my favorite. Are bald eagles one of the ones that mate for life? I feel like they are. I watched a documentary about Vancouver Island one time in the swimming wolves, and one of the side little things they had were two, I think, bald eagles. I think they were bald eagles, and they had a few chicks, and they had like the sad story of like how one chick wasn't doing well, so they legit just stopped feeding it until it died. But yeah, they the mom and dad stayed together the whole time, which I thought was very sweet. Oh God. Deported for before even coming here is actually insane. The horrors persist, but so do we. The American way. It's darker. I think his highlights are coming through pretty well. Oh my god. You're like, you can clog an artery and see a super cool death machine at the same time. this not? Okay, it is drawing. I'm just... Did I accidentally... Nope, okay. I'm just drawing over stuff I already made, and that's why it's not working. I know what those words mean in that order. Most definitely. Though I am very happy for you. You got to see something cool. Okay. His highlights are in. I think I'm gonna stop with that. As you can see on the side, this is like the last time I did all these highlights. So it's kind of supposed to look like that. Oh no, it's technically, so this form over here, anthropomorphic, so you could call it a furry if you want, but he has a beast form, which is this one over here, because I'm trying to... This is my first time drawing it, so the first time drawing it, it's never gonna look exactly how I want it, but I need to practice. And then this one over here is his, like, normal human form that he usually partakes in. So, it's fine. I understand. I get it a lot, honestly. It comes with drawing, like, fantasy characters. It's like, whoa! Animar? Okay, now we can work on cell shading and then highlights, and then this guy will be done, and then we can do some doodles, maybe, if I have time. Because I have some other little Boone doodles I'd like to do that just didn't make it into this batch because I drew a lot. I want to draw 3 more smaller doodles on this same exact page, by the way. I love drawing batches of guys, because I'm impatient and I just want to use all the references all at once. Oh no, I'm technically not. My silly guy is a half human. Ginger is my Sona and also a character. Aurora is though, so if you need culturally relevant questions, you can probably ask her. Let's pick this color. Now we get to select the whole entire outside, so then I can select the whole entire inside. You can be furry enough for both of them. My super secret art tip. You too. Thank you for stopping in. It was fun meeting you. Oh my god. Oh yeah, you guys can't see when I'm selecting in my layers and stuff like that because it counts as a different tab for some reason. Layer, selection. Okay. That's still green. Okay. I just got so hot. It's supposed to be so cold, but I'm actually sitting here sweating. think I don't think chat knows that you have pet shrimps. Shrimps is bug. Shrimps is bug. They have antenna and segmented bodies. Technically, I forgot like the criteria that makes something a bug. It's like segmented bodies, bilateral symmetry, and something else. There's one thing that I'm forgetting. They keep breeding. Uh-oh. I remember that one time you had 1 million guppies. Because they kept breeding. Well, I'm glad one survived, considering you had like 50. I always heard of sea monkeys, but I never really knew what they were. Like, what are sea monkeys? Are they just like shrimp? His name is Kevin because he won't die? Bro, not the sea monkey orgies. Sea monkeys, like, they move into their little town and they just put an upside down pineapple, like, right in the middle of it. Yeah, I don't condone the treatment of the small animals that were sea monkeys. We really did some things, didn't we? Oh shoot, I did this on the wrong side. Not like this heavy shading, because the thing's supposed to be coming, the light source is opposite of this side. Frick, I'm stupid. Oh my god. Not them boiling alive. Small story, my dad, when he was younger, he had like this jar of critters that he found in the creek near his house, and he thought they were cold, so he ran them a hot bath and he chucked them all inside, and because he wanted to warm them up. And then he boiled all of them alive. He would then proceed to do the same exact thing again, and then finally learn the consequences of that because he just wanted to warm them up. They were probably hibernating. I don't think Craig was their pup. I hope he wasn't, because that's would be a horrible thing to witness. Yeah, I'm the Lord's eepiest little guy, but I'm like, I have to stream. I told myself in 2026, one of my goals was to stream every week. And like it's always kind of a small goal for me to stream every week because I do enjoy doing it. But specifically during the semester like this, it's very beneficial to me for me to do this. So I actually draw once a week, like actually do work on a digital piece because I warm up frequently just to draw something because it's like good for me. But actually drawing and working on a piece is really nice. I'm glad you're excited for school. But I mean, after years of looking for a job and like the market not being very kind to you, I can imagine it's exciting to like have new opportunities. Like, you know. Yeah, essentially. It sucks, but yeah, that's how it is. It really does depend on your field and like funding cycles and specifically like what they're doing and what your specialty is. But it matters more than ever because it's not like, oh yeah, it'll be a little hard and maybe you won't get a job right away. It's like you could go years without like finding a job in your actual like specialty. My spine just popped so many times. Also, I feel like every time I stream, I get like this rasp in my voice. And I don't know why. I think it's because I may be talking a little louder than I usually do. Also, I talk non-stop longer than I usually do. I remember when I first started streaming, my throat would be sore afterwards. Like, God. I mean, it wasn't 2 years, but it was like a year and a half ago when I first kind of started doing this again for the first time in years. But I used to not talk on stream when I was a kid. I was like a silent streamer because I was a kid on the internet, so I was aware that I was a child on the internet, and I'm like not gonna talk. Um, that was a really long time ago, and I used to like we would have a sore throat after I streamed. It was pretty bad. I've gotten used to talking more now though, so that's pretty good. Yes, I shall entertain the best I can, even though I'm a little uninteresting. I'm just a weird little guy, and I like to draw weird little things, and I like to share it, and my passion will drive me. Not necessarily good at it, but my passion will drive me. It's like, yes, Aurora, we know Aurora, we're sorry, Aurora. I have been drinking water, though. It's just like, it's weird. Oh my gosh, like for them, like that you made? Also, speaking of like old stuff that we have made, if you notice, which no one has noticed except for people I've told, all my older videos are gone because I had videos on here from like 7 years ago. I was an animation meme kid, and those are a part of internet history now because the animation meme community is, not what it used to be. It's not thriving. But I did private all those just to clean up my channel a little bit because I was tired of people viewing them because I had a walking in your sleep animation that I made like 5 years ago, and then the FNAF 1 movie came out, which used that song. So then it got like 400 more views on it from an old crusty thing I made. So that stops happening, and so especially because some older stuff that I have, because people like look at old animation memes, stop getting views. I unlisted them all, and they're now in a folder on my channel. Well, I'm glad their art has improved. But yeah, my old animations are just in a folder on my channel. You can find it. It's a public folder. They're just unlisted now. Just for my own peace of mind. I'll probably archive some stuff on my art Instagram, because that's a few years old now, and some of the stuff is old. It's when I was first learning to do digital art. I have come a long way. A very long way. The first, like, 5 drawings I made, I didn't know alpha lock existed, so I was individually erasing lines and redrawing them in different colors. But, like, some of those characters I don't use anymore, the story's outdated, though some of them are pretty good, like, still story-wise. I would still like to have my new content up here more. Hopefully I can make some content that I'm actually happy with. My love for CSP was, my love for Flip-A-Clip was dying. I think it's a fun, very, like, good intro program to use, but for the stuff that I'm trying to make, it just wasn't really conducive for me, especially because my characters are a bit more complex now, because I took that break from animation and stuff, and it's a little more difficult to draw them on Flip-A-Clip and shade and all that and whatnot, and especially shading. I miss shading animations, but the way I used to have to do it just isn't great. So yeah. You can still view them. They're still there. Don't worry. It doesn't keep going downhill. Okay, this is the darker side. I don't need to. I need to do this to this side. I I know a lot of people do have. It is kind of funny when people like actually like them because I wasn't a big. I'm still not a big creator, but I definitely wasn't during that time period, especially because I gave up on animation memes and I started making AMV content for a couple of reasons. Mainly them being the issue we see now that trends don't last long, and that was always a thing, especially even in the animation meme community. Any sort of short form content has always been like that. And the animation meme community was basically Instagram, Reels, and TikTok before they existed with the short form content like that. So yeah, so I was just like, screw it, I'm making AMVs, and also I could do more creative stuff with my characters that didn't have to follow a format. Because some people were sticklers about like if it was a meme or not, and also there was like a adults bullying children for making simple animations. It was like crazy, absolute Wild West. To be fair, we all make some cringe stuff. Let's be so for real. But it's how you learn. You don't learn unless you do it. You're gonna crack a few eggs to bake a cake. I never understood that saying because like it's saying that like implying that like, oh yeah, you have to crack a few eggs to bake a cake. Like that's a like you have to break stuff to like fix it essentially or like do something. But I'm like, it's good you're basically successfully doing it if you're cracking eggs to make a cake. So like it's very odd that it gets used in a way that's like, oh yeah, you have to make some bad drawings to get some good ones. I don't know. That just never makes sense to me. They do still make more Warriors maps. They do. I see them all the time. I saw like one from 2 years ago. It was like a 48-hour map, and it was like to the FNAF song "It's Me." So people are still making them. Maps just take a lot of energy to make. I remember I hosted a few, and I was like, "This is a 24-hour map, guys." And I was begging people for parts a week later. It's like, guys. I wasn't a Warriors kid, but I did watch all those like animated projects and animation memes just because they were like really good. Like Warriors kids are so talented. Like those people were so good at animating those cats, man. God, I loved Roxanne. That was my favorite. Learning that like Scourge or like however you say his name, like that one black cat with like the claw collar was like in less than a book was crazy. He was such a small character, but I feel like I saw him all the time in every single map and everyone loved him. Sorry, that's my alarm. Gonna give myself a heart attack with my own alarms one day. It's so loud. Oh, I always thought they were cat claws, but again, I've never read the Warrior series, so... Sorry guys, I'm tired and locking in. Trying to get this cell shading done. I would like to get it done. After this, I have to go through the very annoying process of clipping the audio I need. Literally, it's probably one of the biggest parts I dread about starting an animation, is getting that clipped and turned into a MP3 file, because I have to record it a certain way, and then I have to go and I have to get it onto from my phone to my computer, and then I have to turn it into the MP3, and then I have to cut down the audio, and then I chuck it into CSP. Yeah, I'm the Lord's tiredest little guy. I'm back on my school schedule, so I get tired faster. Jack to the rescue. Yeah, it's not like it's horrible, and obviously I've been doing it. It's just like slightly tedious. Especially because CapCut half the time, which is what I use to turn it into an MP3, does not like behaving. It's one of those little things that, like, it's not hard, but I just don't like doing it. And it's always been that way with specifically grabbing the audio. It used to be because I used to use some sketchy site to download the MP3, like we all did. But now I have a different way of doing it where I don't have to use a sketchy website, which is super cool. But if I wanted to, I could, because I have an ad blocker now, so... It's like a childhood beef I have with grabbing the audio that makes me not like it. Especially because it's like, once I download the audio, it's like one of those things where I feel I have to, like, I'm obligated to make it now. Because I went through the trouble of, like, doing all that with the audio. It's always intimidating to start an animation, for me personally. Because, like, opening a blank animation is so much more intimidating than opening a blank canvas, because you have to draw so much to make an animation, and also sometimes I have a loose plan of what I want, but I don't know exactly what I want, so it takes a lot of planning to get through that initial stage of basing everything out so I can move on to line art. I don't think you can with CSP. I think I tried doing that and it just didn't work, which is why I figured out the way to do it this way. Trust me, if you could just... Because Flip a Clip you could just plop in the video, but with this I don't think you can. Yeah, I've been like, for a few things I've made, I've sketched out on my sketchbook first, just to get kind of that, like, anxiety down of starting something new. But I haven't paced around in a circle and thought about this animation enough. Also, like, I put a ton of effort into things. Like, it was a trend audio a little, like, a while ago, but I don't do things exactly how the trend goes, and I do a little bit more complicated stuff because I have an idea and I want to see that to fruition, also because it's, like, OC story stuff, so... It's been a while since I've done something longer as well, so I'm a little worried. I used to pump out, like, 4,000 frame animations in, like, a week, but I am no longer that individual. And I no longer have that time. Because it's like I also have to commit, like, you know, all my drawing time to it after this. And because I like working at one project at a time, because if I work on multiple, I get, you know, overwhelmed very easily by that. And then, like, nothing gets done. Time for highlights. I'm gonna make them slightly orange. I try to make, like, the highlights slightly the color of, like, their accent color. Because usually you can, like, add, like, reflection when you do that. But, like, bounce light, I mean. I'm just kind of gonna go in with this. How does that look on my hair? Also, you're just not supposed to use pure white, so I usually just pick one like that. I don't know if I like this pen for adding highlights. I'm gonna go back to my G pen to do that. I like my highlights a little hard, so I'm just gonna do it with G pen. I love G pen. G pen is the default pen that comes with the CSP. I love G pen. What do you guys think I should do for the background of this? That's like the last thing I have to do after I'm done with little highlights. Piss yellow? I mean, this is close enough to piss yellow. I mean, I could do it this color. More sweaty shirtless men. Well, Boone's not sweaty in this one. I can make him sweaty if you want that. You know, if you're a freak like that, if you want him sweaty. That would be really funny though, if I just like take this photo and just like copy it a bunch and make it the background and like make it slightly darker. Yeah, backgrounds for drawings like this I always kind of hate, because it's like, what do I even do? Oh, it selected that color, that's why it did that. Dang it. How do I get to it? Here you go, Jack. Your suggestion of not exactly piss yellow, but definitely a color. Tone to piss yellow. I love this orange. Oh my god. Sorry, I just hit my mic. Yeah, as you can tell, it might be EP time for me too. I'm gonna finish this up and then I'll probably stop. But I'm almost done, so that's good. Weak. I am. I'm a weak little guy. Also have to go and... Oh, I don't have to colors too. Oh, I have to erase this though. I'm gonna change this maybe to a light orange. I don't like it. I don't like it white. You too, man. I'm glad you can make it to this one. I hope to see you in the future. I don't know. The color needs to be lighter. Some of the... Here. About that. I'm gonna go here. Airbrush tool and kind of like highlight the colors. Or are you not working? I pinned it. Nope, it's not. It's just really big. Okay, that's why it wasn't working. Okay, that's staying there because it's all in separate layers, so I can't just move it all at once, and I don't feel like moving it all. So it's just gonna stay in the corner, and I'm just gonna have to add a little airbrush under it so you can actually see them all. Now I just need to add my watermark. File. Import. Image. My massive logo. This logo is massive. It's gonna lag the program. Yeah, look how big my logo is. I have to shrink it down every single time. I don't know why. It's so big. I have a bad habit of not making my watermark big enough to see, so there. Yeah. To be fair, my logo is pretty detailed. I want to redraw it, and I still like the design of it. I just want to improve it a little bit. Okay. Well, we finished the drawing. I'm gonna call it here for tonight. Thank you all so much for coming out. This will be posted on my Instagram, which is linked below, but it also is right here. It's at popstm with pops underscore tm, all lowercase. They don't let you do capital letters. Also below is all my other links to all my other places. You can subscribe here. I'm going to try to stream every Friday or Saturday, and if I don't, I'll be active on Instagram. I usually am. Besides that, everyone stay safe, especially if you're in places that are calling for 1 million fulfilling inches of snow. I hope that you have your bread, milk, and pop, and you have a good rest of your night. So, if OBS will let me open it and stop the stream.